welcome back to my podcast. And I hope something has been said in the past podcast that would help you through your grief and trying to get from grieving to believing. Today, we're going to go on a journey with a mother who lost her mother. And, I can identify with my guest today because I lost my mother, Margaret, in 2012. So I do understand the pain and the loss of a mother, and I share that pain with you today. A poem for mothers. A limb has fallen from the family tree. I keep hearing a voice that says, "Grieve not for me." Remember the best times, the laughter, the songs, the good life I lived while I was strong. Continue my heritage. I'm counting on you. Keep smiling, and surely the sun will shine through. My mind is at ease, and my soul is at rest, remembering all how I was truly blessed. Continue traditions, no matter how small. Go on with your life. Don't worry about the falls. I miss you all dearly, so keep up your chin. Until the day comes, we will be together again. Sharing my podcast today is Ginger. And before we get started, Ginger, share with me again, because your daughter is also named Ginger.
Right.
Share with us how you and your daughter have the same name.
Well, her father wanted to name her after me, and I told him to go ahead and name her after me. So that's how it came about. It was real simple. I let him have his wish.
And that was true love for you.
True love, yes.
That he loved you enough that he wanted his daughter
Yes.
to be named after you.
Yes.
That is so wonderful. That is such a blessing. And thank you for sharing that story with us. I'm so glad that you're here today because your story is my story.
Yes.
I too lost my mother, and I understand. I too lost a mother. And tell us a little about your mother, Reverend Hattie.
Well, she was a fireball. From the time I was a very small child, always on the go, always on the move. And she would take me to work with her, which made me happy because I could be with my mother all day and have lunch. But I just had to mind her and not try to, talk to the grown people, just to sit there and be quiet. And it was fun because, she was very friendly, and it was very interesting to watch her work. And she did work for Mr. Carhart, and I would go to the office with her. Then she decided that she wanted to be a nurse. So she, went to school and became a nurse.
You're kidding.
No, she wanted to become a nurse. That's why I took up nursing too at some point.
So she went from being a secretary,
right, to
and decided she wanted to change her profession
That's
and
right.
become a nurse.
Right, yeah.
But that wasn't her last profession either, was it?
No, it was not. She went back to being a secretary sort of again with Dr. James Costin over at the ICU over there, and she was his private secretary for years, and that was her final job with him.
No, that wasn't her final job. Now I introduced her as Reverend.
Well, yes, that was more something that she wanted to do, and we didn't see that as a job because she felt she loved God, and she brought me up in the church, and I'm so thankful for that to have that beginning and to be close with her. But yes, she did want to be a preacher. So she did that at the last.
Yeah, I tell you, she had a very
She was very life. Yes, she did. Yeah.
I mean, and she kept going. She kept giving.
Right.
For whatever she was doing.
And that was she was in charge. She was the treasurer for the Democratic Party. She was also the first female of color to be added to the Fulton County Board of Registrations and Elections. And I think there's one more thing.
I mean, yes.
Well, yes, she was the president
of. Share all you can from her. So if you need to
Right.
reference your notes, go
Right.
ahead. I mean, because I never met her,
Right.
but she seemed like a very fantastic and very interesting woman.
Yes, she was, and
who
she's
had
very busy.
Had her foot in little everything.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And she was a churchgoer, and that was the other thing. I'm so glad that she started me off in church. One Sunday we went to several churches. And, you know, this was an ongoing thing because my grandmother was a member at Mount Vernon. But we did end up at Mount Vernon. But she went, I think she took me to about 20 churches on this one Sunday when we were out riding around. But, you know, it was good. And she got her wishes, you know, becoming a pastor before she passed away.
And one of the things that she did was bringing you up in the church, and that's how we met.
Right, that's
we
right.
met right here at Cornerstone.
That's right.
You know, for those you don't know, Ginger has a beautiful voice, and I met her when I came to Cornerstone, and I joined the choir in Cornerstone. It wasn't because I could sing; it was because I love praising the Lord.
Amen.
That's where
Amen.
I wanted to be. But beautiful, Junior, you have a beautiful voice.
Well, thank you so much.
Now, Miss Hattie passed some years ago. I think we figured it up about 25 years ago.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, have your grief changed over time? Have your grief gotten better, or is it still as strong as it was, say, 10 years?
I think it just stays strong because I'm an only child, and I miss her. And my grandmother and my grandfather, you know, and my father, they've all gone. So I think it stays the same. It's not real bad, but you know, you hit these rough spots when you just have to just cry it on out.
You never forget the person who brought you into this world.
That's right. And we were close.
They're going to always be there with you. And because you were an only child, you and your mother had a stronger bond that a lot of children have with their parents.
Right. And she showed me so much love. Yeah, she showed me so much love.
She just showered it on you.
Right.
That was wonderful, I tell you. Now, what are some of the things you miss most about not having your mother around today?
Just not being able to talk to her because she was very knowledgeable and understanding and caring and loving, and we could talk about anything and everything, you know, watch television together, do things together. But she was a busy lady. She was also the treasurer for the Democratic Party for years. And, you know, you have to be a good person to be in charge of their money. And she never had any problems. Nothing ever came up. Everything was always done. And she was also the first female of color to be on the Fulton County Board of Registrations and Elections. And I was real proud of all of her accomplishments.
You should be.
And she stayed busy.
Those are great accomplishments. They really are. I mean, she could have wrote a book.
Right, yeah.
Of all the things that she endured and all the things that she did.
Right.
And it could not have been easy back in that time to be a woman of color and a part of the Democratic Party.
Right, yeah. She was their treasurer for years. And let's see, one other thing. She was also the president of our Atlanta Federated Women's Club. So she was a busy lady. Busy lady,
but
very
still
busy.
Had time for her beautiful child.
Right. Thanks for that compliment.
I know. It's you always my mothers are always with you.
Yes.
And when I lost my mom, it was really devastating.
Right.
My mom had raised 7 children alone by herself.
Okay.
So she was a single mom, and you know, she was mother and father to us.
Right, mother and father.
But when she passed, one of the things that I thank God for is that He still have her in my life. I dream about her all the time.
Right.
And when I dream about her, we're always doing something.
Right.
You know, we're in the kitchen cooking and talking or shopping, and sometimes I'm fussing at her. You know, just like it was when, you know.
Right, when she was alive.
When she was still alive. When my mom had dementia, and I moved her in with me, and she lived with me for 5 years before she passed.
Okay.
And we would always, we would always take outings, going shopping at the grocery store and stuff like that. And I remember one of the times my sister-in-law and my daughter, we all went down to Noonan, and we were all in Dillard's.
Okay.
And my mom had a little walker. She was walking around, and we stopped in front of something, and the 3 of us, we were talking. and we were talking about whatever we were looking at. And the next thing I knew, I looked around and she was gone. And here we are looking all over the store for her. We could not find her anywhere. We split up. We all three going separate ways because we got to find. She's got dementia. We don't know where she is.
Right.
So I decided to go outside to see if I could see her. I went outside, Junior, and there she was out there talking to 3 men.
How about that?
I was so mad at her. I said, you got us worried to death about you. You out here enjoying yourself. So, that was one of the things that I remember about her. And I remembered, she, like your mom, her children always came first in her life. That's right. Yeah. She always made sure that they had what they need before she even worried about herself.
Right.
And
yeah, mothers are like that.
yeah. But I remember the times that she would sit down and she would sit us at the table and she would make sure we all was fed and we were all right before she would eat. But that's what mothers do.
Right.
That's what
mothers
they
do.
are.
That's right.
And it's nice to have memories of your loved ones. And I think you have shared with us some of the memories that you have had of your mom, which are great memories and something that will carry you through your life, through the raising of your children with the love that you had.
Right.
I am sure that you were able to instill that love
in them,
unto them.
Yes, that's right.
So your mother was still there for you.
Yeah. I feel like I can sit down and talk to her anytime about anything.
Yeah.
We were just that close.
Yeah.
And she was just, she would talk to me about anything and everything I wanted to talk about. And she was a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Now,
how did you feel about her changing her life? Going from a secretary to deciding to be a nurse, and then going from a nurse to going back.
Right.
And then end up being a part of the Democratic Party and having all these great positions in her life.
Well, it made me real proud, even prouder of her, But she was just capable and competent, and in fact, it made me want to be a nurse. So that's why I went to school too, just walking in her footsteps. Yeah, because they were good footsteps, and she did a lot of good and shared. She was just a wonderful person. I wanted to be like her, more like her.
I mean, just you talking about her, I get the impression that she was a fantastic person.
And a fantastic cook, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was a great cook. I like to clean. I'm not much of a cook.
Now, I know there are certain smells or a favorite picture or maybe a song that you hear that may trigger something about your mom. What happens to you when these emotions come about? Because something you have read or something you have seen reminds you, that was my mom.
Well, it sets my heart on fire, and I usually will do a good deal of crying, but I like to listen to gospel music too. That keeps me close to the right thing. So you just, I let it out.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. I let it out, and sometimes I get a little loud, but that's just life. I hope to see her one day.
You will. You will, and that's God's promise that you will. Now, are there any things that you find difficult for you to cope with in your life right now?
Well, I'm getting older and older and older, and I'm glad of that, but it seems like my memory is getting a little foggy lately, so that's
join the crowd.
That's something I'm working on.
Yeah, join the crowd. We all go through that.
Yeah, I get a little frustrated with myself when I can't remember things, and it's kind of happening. So I'm just taking it easy and accepting it for what it is.
I'm glad that did not keep you from coming and sharing with us today.
Oh no, I was happy. In fact, I wrote something about when I was a child and how she took me to all the churches, and it's just a memory that I wouldn't take anything for it, because that was the right thing for her to do, bring me up with the church, and I'm glad because God is in control.
Yeah, and it seems like her life made you a better person.
I think it did. I think you're absolutely correct, because I wanted to be like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about Well, you already said you can't cook, but I don't believe that because I've
Oh, well,
had.
I can cook now. I was just overstating it, but
But you know,
that's not my favorite thing. I'd rather you see me in the kitchen over here. I like to wash dishes and keep things
I
clean.
know.
Everybody likes that too, and I love it.
I know Ginger and I work together in the kitchen when we're serving
Right.
meals, and we always asking her if she wants some help because, like she said, her favorite thing is getting there, cleaning up, washing the dishes, making. I'm all right. I'm good. I like this. So
Yeah.
she's right. That's one of the chores that most of us don't
Don't
like
like
to do.
exactly.
So
yeah.
we're glad you in there.
Yes, that's my job.
So you can do that. Have you found anything that help you cope with the loss of your mother? I know you said listening to gospel music helps.
Yeah, I love listening to gospel music. I love just coming to church, hearing good sermons. Having some friends that you can call sometimes that you're close enough that you can share.
Your feelings.
What you're feeling at that time. Yeah. So I'm lucky to have some real nice friends that I can call and we can talk about it on the phone. And most of the time I get through it myself. It doesn't take all day or anything like that, but just get overwhelmed with the feelings.
But my perception of you is that you are very close to your kids, your
Yes.
children. So that helps a lot.
I try to be because I want to show them all the love I can give them, do whatever I can
Yeah.
to help them and keep them on the right track, like my mother did.
Now, do you have grandchildren?
Yes, I do. In fact, I have a little grandson that's 7, and talked to him a couple of weeks ago on the phone, and he said, "Grandmother, you haven't been to see me in a long time," and that just touched my heart. And I said, "But I'm coming. I'm coming
Oh,
to see you
that
as
is
soon as I
wonderful.
can."
And
Yeah.
is that the only one that you have?
No, I have my oldest son. He has one. Well, he has the 2 boys, the baby and his oldest son,
Okay.
and 2 girls. And then my son Quan has 2 sons.
Okay.
Yep. And that's it. Michael doesn't have any children, and Ginger isn't married yet. So.
So you still have a chance to have a few more grandchildren.
Right. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be coming at the right time. He'll take care of it. I trust in him.
Now, it appears that because your faith in God and the journey that you've had and the memories that you've had of your mom and the support you have of your children and your family
Right.
and your friends, that it has brought you from grieving to believing.
That's right.
That you're going to still have those moments,
Right.
but you can still get through them.
That's true. That's very true.
Loss is always going to be a loss,
Right.
but you'll still get through them. Like when you lost your grandmother and your grandfather, you had your mother's love.
Right.
You had her there to help you get through
she helped
those.
me with that because my grandfather was very old. He was in his almost 90 when he passed. He would play with me during the day, and he was my first real friend. So I was really upset about him. It took me a while to kind of get over that, but there's always
And it's good that you always had the kids there for you.
yeah.
And sometimes having kids, when something like this happens and they're young, it helps you to keep your mind off of what's actually going on.
Yeah, that's
because you
true.
still have to have time to take care of them as well.
You want to lay a good foundation for them, get them on the right track, if at
Now,
all possible.
I asked you. I know you can cook. I know maybe you don't think you can cook as well as your mother did.
No.
But I had one of your dishes one time you brought to church.
Oh.
And I sampled that, and I sampled it. And after I sampled that, I said, "Ginger, you got to." I loved it. And what was your story about the meatloaf?
The meatloaf, I can't remember my story about the meatloaf,
Okay.
but it was really one of my favorite things.
And
I just love that dish, so I love meatloaf.
And you also told me you didn't make it very often because
Right.
when you made it, it made you
Right,
think
remember
about your
my
mom.
mother. Think about my
Yeah.
mother. That's
Yeah.
right, because she taught me all that I know about cooking and all that, because she was a fantastic.
See, I love meatloaf. But
Yeah,
I
me
don't,
too.
But I don't make a good meatloaf.
Okay, and
That's
I'm
why
gonna
I
get
was
you one
so
soon.
intrigued, and I so enjoyed the one that you baked.
I'm so glad about that.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting on it because you promised me I'm going to make you one.
Right, I wanted to bring you one today, as a matter of fact, but it's been kind of a busy week.
So that was one of the things that
Right.
triggered your memories about your mom, is when you're making meatloaf.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I think about her all the time anyway, but that kind of makes me cry a little.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those my mom. My mom was a good cook, and I think my mom was two things. My mom was a good cook, and she had a love for Christmas.
Right,
And she passed both of those on to me. And I'm
right,
like you, I don't cook as well as my mom, but I love to cook.
right. Well, my daughter likes to cook, so she took that after her grandmother, and she learned a lot from her before she passed. So
And my
she's a
love
great
for
cook.
Christmas, I do a tour on Facebook every year
Oh, okay.
of the decorating of my house for Christmas. And every room in my house is decorated for
Okay.
Christmas.
Well, I'm going to have to come and see you,
You
Chris.
have to. I love Christmas. It is one of my favorite times of
Right.
year. In fact, a couple days ago, I started fluffing my trees at about 5 o'clock, and I finished at about 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
That's because I had to fluff 8 trees.
Okay, okay. Some chore, wow.
So I love Christmas. I've already started. I've already started.
Yeah. Well, it's a happy time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a happy time. I love to see the kids, when they open their presents.
Now, if your mother was sitting here with us right now, how would you tell her that you keep her memory alive?
Well, how would I tell her? I would just tell her that I love her and just see her all the time in some of my dreams. So she's still a part of my life, but I'll be so
spiritual
happy.
part.
Yes, but I will be so happy when the day comes when I can see her again, and I'm just trusting and believing in God.
I mean, from your story and your journey, there are a lot of people that you're waiting to see again.
That's true. That's true. Because I was very close, and they loved me. They showed me so much love, and that's what it's all about. It's good to be loved.
Oh, tell me about it. I tell you, it makes a lot of difference in how we grow up and mature as adults.
Right.
It really does.
That's true.
It has a lifelong effect on what kind of person we end up being.
Right. That's right.
So, and because of what I know of you in church and working with you in the kitchen, and you show that you've had a lot of love in your life.
Well, thanks, Chris.
That husband who wanted you to name your child after
Right.
you. Your mother.
That was quite an honor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was. It was. Grieving can be a complex and overwhelming, endless process. Though we will all experience grief at some point in our lives, grief can be incredibly isolated when you're going through it. Ginger, Miss Hattie went to the hospital for surgery and never came home. Tell us your pain and grief and disbelief over this news, because I believe at the time you were a nurse.
Right. Yeah.
So your outlook on the surgery wasn't what it ended up to be.
No, well, I kind of had a sick feeling, I guess you would say. It was taking too long, for one thing, and I kept getting these feelings that it just wasn't going to come out in a good way. So it seems like God sent me a little message. I've always kind of felt different things with regard to hearing or hearing God or being led in certain areas. And I had a feeling, and I shared that, with my husband, that I didn't think it was I was hoping and praying that it would, but there was something there that kind of gave me a little instinct that it might not go well.
God had a better plan.
Yeah, yeah.
He wanted this lady with
Right.
him.
He had to slow her down.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wanted her with him. And I know it's hard, but sometimes we have to realize that things happen the way they should happen.
Right, yeah.
We don't want it,
No,
we don't understand it, but it's not our will.
that's right.
And sometimes we get a little selfish about our loved ones.
That's true. That's very true. But we
Yeah.
have to keep trusting in God.
Yes, sir. But that's the only thing that we have to get us through
Right,
this.
right.
Believing is keeping faith and hope for the future, even while going through overwhelming sadness and sorrow over our loss. Ginger, I feel like that you have come a long ways, and I think that your grieving, well, it's going to always be there,
Right, right.
but it's going to be a more joyful memory of your loss,
Oh, yes.
and that you have gotten through the process of grieving to believing,
Right,
because of your faith, that your mother, that foundation that she put in you, in the church, to believe and understand God.
That's true. That's very true.
And it has gotten you where you are today.
Yes, I thank him every morning when I wake up for another day.
Hey, I tell
Thank you for another day.
before my feet hit the ground every morning.
Right.
And I have to say, it has not always been this way.
Right.
Because when you're younger, you think you're going to go on forever.
That's true.
But when you get a certain age,
Right.
you have to thank him for waking you up in the morning
That's right.
and in your right mind, being able to dress yourself.
Exactly.
Those are the small things that you have to thank him for.
Right.
I understand loss. I understand losing a mother. We lost our mother in 2012, as I said before, and we just celebrated her 101 heavenly birthday. I have been down that journey of grief many, many times. I understand pain, I understand grief, I understand sorrow. I understand your love for your loss, for your loved ones. Ginger, I thank you for coming and sharing and taking us on this journey of the beautiful and wonderful soul of Miss Hattie Johnson. I know it has been difficult for you to come and share and go over some of these memories, but I want to thank you for being brave enough to share your story. And we want to thank you for making a difficult decision to come and be on this podcast with us, because I know it was something that you had to think about, and I'm
Right.
so glad that you decided to come. It's been joyful having you here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed it also.
Thank you.
And
Now, a mother gives birth to her child. She brings a child into the world with joy and excitement. But when a mother dies and leaves us, we feel anger, intense sorrow, and disbelief. It creates an irreplaceable void in our life, a void that will never be filled at all. This is my story about my mom. My mother signed my birth certificate. I signed her death certificate. She picked out my first outfit. I chose her last. She witnessed my first breath. I witnessed her last. These are the things that we share with our mother.
yeah.
I hope something has been said today to ease your pain and your grief and your anger and that you're going through because of your loss. Romans 8:18, yet what we suffer now is nothing compared to the glory he will reveal to us later. Thank you for joining our podcast, and I hope that you will leave some comments in the comment section. And I hope you also, if you want to share your story with us, if you will contact me through my email, chrisgreen7283@comcast.net. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that button so you can hear us every time we come back every 2 weeks. Thank you once again to Willie Jr., my tech, for being here with us, and always as my support going through this podcast. Love you guys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.